don't let all those excuses prevent you from taking that step. It's a risk at the end of the day. But the way, and I'm a really like spiritual guy, so that's why I talk like this. But for me, the way you spell faith is R-I-S-K. The way you spell faith is R-I-S-K. When you have risk,
that's huge.
you know what I mean? Like you have faith. And that's, you're putting the money on you at the end of the day, and what God has deposited in you.
All right, let's go.
All right, dude. Another great one, right?
Yeah, great story as always, man. I mean, like, love it when people, it's like you said, it's like everybody has the same alignment, right? It's like you're doing this shit for your family, you're doing this shit for your pride, you're doing this shit for your group, like whatever it is. And it's it seems like every story just kind of hits home. When people get it, they get it, right?
Yep. So I mean, it was dude, it was perfect. It really was. I love that guy's, just his flow, how much, we have kind of in common, stuff, kind of linked in with you and everything we're talking about.
Talk about a 6-figure deal, but I mean, like, dude, people know when you're making 7 figures in a year in income, like you're getting some 6-figure burgers in.
I'm going to have dinner with my rich padrino, which is means Godfather. So I'm going to ask him for some tips and tricks doing business here in Guadalajara.
See, from the padrino. Bueno. All right, here we go.
Nope.
What's up, you guys? We just finished Ask Alex number 49. We're almost at a year in a row of this, and every time we get a special guest on, it's incredible. But this week we had Hector, and this guy dropped some gems. Alex, what were your biggest takeaways, man?
Man, a lot of takeaways, but I think the big ones were that how he's been able to scale up his business and his team in a short amount of time. Also, he talked a lot about how he's able to juggle it all with having a family. I know that's a big thing with a lot of people that are trying to get into investing. And I mean, really, at the end, is just putting his faith first, and then adding value constantly in whatever stage that he was in. I think those were the big takeaways. Yo, what up? What's up, my deal makers? We're about to have a fire webinar today. Let's get Will in here. But man, we got a great webinar for you guys today. We're going to be highlighting and interviewing Hector Martinez. He's in the Atlanta market, but he also does deals in Texas. Where are you at, Mr. Will Wall? I see some familiar faces in the building. What's up, Andy? What's up, Nick? Hello, Allison. What's up, Miguel? Where are you at, Will? But yeah, man, this guy's a great story. There's Will. Let's promote to the panelists. Get my right-hand man, the General of LA, Mr. Will Wall. Damn, I'm pretty bright here. The windows give me a lot of light. I'm in Guadalajara. Man, I'm excited about this webinar, you guys. So, and I say that every week, but this guy is a stud, and we have very similar backgrounds. What's up, Will? Let's get you in the building. Ulysses is in the building. What's up, my man Sam? My man Sam with the master plan. All right, look at you. Look at it, nice and sexy with all that hair.
There he is, man. How's it going, guys?
Let's go. You going for a job interview or something? You got the hair. You got a nice dress shirt on. What's going on, buddy?
Just a regular day out here, man. Nothing crazy.
All right. Well, I know you are familiar with Hector. We met him through the coaching program, and he's an awesome dude. And his partner Vince also as well. But you excited or what?
Yeah, these are super big time investors that are scaling their business, that are growing their business. These guys are looking at different business models and wholesaling deals. They're doing it all. So this should be a really fun conversation. A chance to hear from somebody that has a family and is doing this as well. So I know a lot of you guys in the group that have family members that you're doing this for, that you're pushing to be financially independent for. You guys are gonna get to hear from somebody that's living that firsthand and is doing that. So should be really exciting. As Alex mentioned, we're letting people kind of trickle in here, just getting started. So love seeing the regular guys. And if you are a new member today, coming in for the first time, go ahead and let everybody know in the chat where it is you're coming from. That way we can kind of connect with you outside of this. If people are in Denver and you want to connect on some deals, I would recommend connecting with Ben, right? Same thing with Ulysses. If you're up in the Bay Area, Santa Cruz, Merced, Ulysses seems to kind of have that area on lock. And so, that's why we like to kind of share that info on here and share where you're from, because, Alex, I know you always believe in it, right? Social media can for sure create deals and help you secure deals. So something to always keep your mind on, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I know you were last week, you were missing. So we definitely missed you. So you were in Guatemala. watching some turtles and hanging out on some volcanoes.
Yeah, man. I mean, a big fan of the Southern American culture and Central American culture, and got to go down to Guatemala for the week. We released about 1,000 baby turtles out into the out into the surf, so that was pretty majestic. And then of course being on an active volcano that's exploding every 5 to 10 minutes really kind of all the turmoil in the world, the red tags on the properties, the floods on the properties, all the things that might be going on. When you're on a volcano that's exploding, it kind of puts it in perspective for you. So great week. And I know for you've been down in Guadalajara. What's kind of been going on down there?
Well, I'm still in Guadalajara. I think it's like my second week here. Just been spending some time with my family. I got to see one of my favorite aunts. I can't say she's my favorite because I have several. And also good news is that my mom and dad and my twin brother are going to be coming down here for Thanksgiving. Although I'm going to be going back to Hawaii before then, I'm going to be coming back. So that's going to be pretty cool. I've been doing some I guess they call it like self-care. I'm big on making sure that, I'm taking care of myself as I'm scaling up. I have responsibilities. I have to be accountable. I have to be in the best shape as possible. And so I've been doing this cryotherapy that I see it in the gyms back in LA, but it's really inexpensive here in Mexico. It's only like $20 a session. And man, it's cold, bro, like almost negative 200 degrees. Like literally the hair on my skin will be freezing up. And so that's pretty cool. And then also I've been doing some facials and some other just, self-care, man. I got to take care of myself. I'm getting a little bit older, not as young as you will, or some of the people on the call. So got to take care of myself. Also, what I noticed here in Mexico, what I really love is the service is unreal. Like they are waiting on you like hand and feet, some of these nicer restaurants. And I really appreciate it because, in the States, I mean, let's be real, the service is average at best. And when you get great service because you're spending a ton of money at a really fancy restaurant, that's pretty much most of the time that you're going to be getting great service. So I really appreciate the great service down here. Also, we picked up a new deal in Hawaii. So shout out to Alex Ibarra. He's been relentless on that. We got us a deal. We lost a condo deal because the wholesaler didn't check title, and then it came up with a bunch of liens on the property. This condo flip in Lahaina on Maui that we're going to be doing. And then right away, we replaced it with what I would argue, and I'm sure Alex Ibarra would argue, is a better deal. We're buying a house for $180,000 that doesn't need that much work overall in Hawaii. Big Island has the cheapest houses in Hawaii, so excited to be flipping a house over there. And then also, we closed escrow on at Rosamond flip. It's essentially almost a duplex, right? But it's a manufactured home. You did a fantastic job on that, Will, along with Nicole. You guys got that to the finish line. Also, big shout out to my man, Will, that helped fund the deal. Mr. Burrito Express. I mean, he helped us get that deal done. First deal he's doing with us as a money partner, so solid there. And then also the Maui house is almost done. We, Manu, my intern on Maui, he's helping getting it furnished. Also, we have a great contractor that's on top of things, finishing up the construction. I'm super excited about that house because, as a team, as a tribe, as a group of, investors, we're going to be able to use that property and leverage it and enjoy it and enjoy Hawaii. So I can't wait to have that finished for that to happen. And then, again, I want to shout out to the Hawaii team because it seems like they're just like cranking on all cylinders. Once we got Ale, our new virtual assistant, kind of plugged into that system, based on all the systems and processes that you've been working on with Nicole, will help transfer that over to the Hawaii team. And so now that's, really what I'm passionate about now is just growing the virtual team to help support you guys in LA, in Antelope Valley, in Maui, Hawaii. Because if you guys have the sport, then you can focus on sales, you can focus on project management and all that great stuff. And that for me is something I'm just trying to make sure that we have the right people supporting us to get to where we want to go with our, our huge acquisitions and investment goals. So that's where we're at, man. This interview, Hector, I'm hyped.
Yeah, man, this should be a fun day here today. I'm fired up to bring on our special guest. Obviously, like we mentioned, we're bringing on a special guest today. And for those of you guys that aren't in the Facebook group, I'll go ahead and post that on here just now, just so you have that. But we always kind of post in there when we're bringing on a special guest. And this one that we're bringing on today I'm really excited about. Alex, if you want to go ahead and make me host, we'll go ahead and get Hector on here in a second. Alex, I know we met Hector, or at least I met Hector about a year ago. And when I met Hector, it was out at the Ryan Pineda Mastermind. And Hector, we met him out there the first time, and this was about a year ago when I was just getting started in real estate. And, then we see him out there the next time, and it's like, hey man, how are you doing? And he was like, bro, this, and this. And it was like, oh, wow, man, like you moved quick, right? So that was a quick couple of months there that you were able to, really do some things with your business. So we'll go ahead and get Hector on screen here in a second. I just went ahead and promoted him to panelist. And as soon as
what I remember a lot about Hector too was that, like, remember he got interviewed by that deal machine and he did a $100,000 deal. I'm in love with the big deals like that. So I was super happy for him. And we have similar backgrounds. Like my mom was in the cleaning, housekeeper business. His mom also, we both come from immigrant families that, just humble beginnings, keep it real, grew up, dirt poor, right? And so I think that gives you character, it gives you ambition. At least for the people, don't make excuses, right? Of where you start. It's not where you finish, right? It's not where you start, it's where you're going to finish. And so I'm super happy to highlight his story because I think people can relate to, what he's gone through with, just having humble beginnings. And then just now he has a great team and he's scaling up. So I'm super excited about highlighting his story and all the lessons he's learned, because I think our tribe can benefit tremendously from seeing what he's done and what continues to do.
Yeah, and I mean, you nailed it, right? Like he's scaled a team. He's been able to, do some of this stuff in a short amount of time. And I think a lot of that has to do with the masterminds, right? Like when you join a mastermind, we've leaned on Hector and Vince and his team before, when we needed some help and they might have had some expertise in some area. And so, again, I think being in those masterminds, being in a group like this where we have, an open forum in the Facebook group where if you have a question, you can post it in there and, get some results and get some feedback. And we always say on here, getting a couple of sets of eyes on it is always better than just getting one, right? So, again, I think it's been really impressive what Hector's been able to do here. And, like I mentioned, we'll get him kind of promoted in here as a panelist and welcome him onto screen here in just a second.
Sure enough, there he is. There's a stud. Also, I've noticed that he's stepped up his social media game, so I'm sure we're gonna be able to talk about that. I'm kind of low key trying to copy some of the stuff he's working on. I'm like, yo, man, this is looking good. This is hot right here. So we'll chat about that. What's up, my man?
What's up, everybody? What's going on? Alex, Will, hey, thanks so much for having me on, man. I'm stoked to be here. Stoked to be sharing some time with you guys. So, man, thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, you got it. You're in Atlanta, right?
I'm in ATL, man. ATL.
Awesome. Well, let my man Will kind of run with it.
Yeah, Hector, I mean, I know we kind of gave you a quick intro, but like, do you mind just kind of giving us a little bit of a background? I mean, like I said, we met you about a year ago now, coming up on a full calendar year here now. And in that calendar year, obviously you've done some incredible stuff that we'll get to, but if you don't mind kind of, give us a little bit before this year, like where have you been? What have you been doing? And how'd you kind of get to where you're at?
Yeah. No, thanks. Appreciate it, Will. Yeah. So my story is it really, I would say it goes back to when I got into real estate was when I started in banking. So actually, Alex, you and I have a really similar story, man. So I don't know that I've ever shared this with you, but so I first started hearing about real estate in the banking world. So I was like just a banker at Wells Fargo, matter of fact. And I started from, just an entry-level position. I came to Atlanta, I came back to Atlanta after being in Florida for a little bit, where my family lived, and just needed a job. So just found the closest thing that I could possibly find. That was at a bank, so Wells Fargo. And I worked my way up from a regular banker to banker two, what they call it. Then I got into the private bank, which is dealing with high net worth clients. And then I obtained my licenses as a banker. So basically I have my like stock trading licenses, basically to be able to talk and facilitate conversation on stock trading and investing and all that. And that's where I started meeting people that were just loaded, you know what I mean? People that had extra cash to invest. And my job was to basically talk them into investing with one of our financial advisors, which was my ultimate goal, to become a financial advisor. So that's the next level up after being a licensed banker. And so basically my job was to get them to invest into these stocks or mutual funds or whatever. And so I did pretty well. I mean, I climbed the ladder. I was there for 6 years. I was suit and tie, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, sometimes working Saturday. I hated that. It was like I had to be stuck in traffic 45 minutes, an hour sometimes, because Atlanta traffic is not like Hawaii traffic, I'm sure. And and it's a city that with lots of people, doing that 9 to 5 thing. And so it got pretty old really quickly. However, during that time, like all the guys that I would meet were always like in real estate. They were doing some form of real estate investing, or they were, they had multiple investment properties or portfolio. Like I remember meeting one guy that had like 12 properties, and he was just super chill, laid back, and, would come in at any given time, like not on a schedule, just really laid back. And that's what put the seed in me to do something else. And so, that really went and spiraled into just me just having this desire, not really knowing what to do with it, but I knew that I wanted to do something on my own, something for myself. And long story short, I ended up having a friend that wanted to start a mailbox business. So basically going out, installing mailboxes for large neighborhoods, like 200 at a time or whatever. Here in Georgia, all the houses look the same. And so, you can have the mailboxes look the same. And, if you land that deal, it could be pretty decent money. So we started that business. And long story short, it didn't work out. The partnership wasn't good. But that led me into meeting the people that got me into real estate. Because in the building where I worked, there was also a construction company that worked out of the building. And those guys were, they were Hispanic. They were just like just chill. Like you couldn't tell they were millionaires, but they were millionaires. You know what I mean? And they had a really successful drywall and painting business, and they do pretty much all the multifamily housing here in Georgia. Like any big, multifamily apartment complex that goes up, they're probably involved. You know what I mean? They're doing the drywall and they're doing the paint. And so they asked me to do finances for them, like QuickBooks work and stuff like that, because I had, banking experience and I spoke Spanish. And so, I just kind of had a lot of favor from God, and people were just like, they just really liked me. I think it was, I mean, I call it favor. Some people call it luck. I call it favor, but, they just really just like gave me, their whole business. And I kind of was in the circle, like in the circle of the owners, right? So it was two owners and a nephew, and that ran the company. And I was like right next to them making decisions. They asked me what to invest in. And, I started seeing that the main owner had like 6 different rental properties. And I said, man, how'd you do it? It was like, never used a bank, never, always paid cash for the properties. And, they were also flipping. And they were the first guys that gave me a loan to do the rehab on a house that I found on the market, on the MLS. And just asking them questions and obviously providing value to them, and just doing the grunt work. And I remember, doing stuff I didn't like to do. It was a difficult season in the sense that like I still wasn't where I wanted to be as an entrepreneur, as a solo business owner or whatever, but I knew that I was getting closer, and this was just something that I needed to do. And so I stuck it out for about 2 years. And then I just, I continued to ask questions like about construction, because I thought I was going to be just, one of their project managers making 6 figures, or maybe I was going to, oversee a construction project or be one of their GCs. I didn't know what I wanted at the time, to be honest. Like I just knew that it had to do something with building, with creating, with investing. And so, long story short, I really started liking the whole flipping side of it. And this is before I knew about any mastermind, about any Facebook groups, about anything. I just kind of went for it. At that time, my mother-in-law ended up getting her real estate license. And so she was just looking on the MLS all the time, and she found a property in Acworth, Georgia, that ended up being this retired Army vet that was moving back to Cali and just wanted to let go of the property in Acworth, pretty beat up, just outdated. And I said, you know what, let's try it. Let's do it. And I started watching YouTube videos and, what everybody does now, it's like trying to learn from different outlets and venues. And so long story short, I ended up putting an offer on that house. I didn't know what I was doing or how to calculate a max offer, or I just knew that that the comps my mother-in-law showed me, was going to be profitable. So I did longhand math, the old school, like not using just old school, like rehab's going to be this, commissions is going to be this, and came up with a profit. I ended up making $11,000 on that deal. And man, when I got that check, bro, I was like, this is it. This is it. Like, I'm done, and
Love it.
I probably lasted another 6 months with that company, and they just saw my hunger and my drive. And I was looking at houses during my lunch break, or I was looking at, new opportunities, and they saw it, they knew it, and they set me down. And, the main owner, the millionaire, right? The guy that I looked up to, he was like, Hector, I gotta let you go. And, but he didn't do it in a negative way. Like, he didn't fire me. He was like, I gotta let you go because you have more potential and you have more drive for this than what you're doing here. And here's a loan, boom, like that, for the next house. And they're still some of my big time lenders today. You know what I mean? So just people that really believe in you, man, and people that come from humble beginnings once again, but that can spot like that hunger, that drive that not a lot of people have. And I think, for the listeners, like, if you find somebody that is in your corner, find out how to bring value to them. I just want to share, like, I never asked them for any money. I never was like trying to suck up to them. I just worked my butt off. I just provided the best level of service I could to them in the finance department. I implemented things that they still use to today. And I used all my talents that I'm using now in that business, because I believe in this, man. And this is the last thing I'll say, and then we can ask any questions or whatever. But if you don't figure out like what season you're in, and how to be thankful for the current season you're in, you're never going to step into the next season that you're supposed to be in. If you keep murmuring and you keep complaining about the current situation of your life, you're never going to go into the next season. You got to learn to be thankful for what you have now and do the very best with what you have now, so that, I call it God, right? Some other people call it chance or luck, can promote you to the next level of life. You know what I'm saying? And that's the principle of Thanksgiving, being thankful, right? We're going into Thanksgiving pretty soon. Like, being thankful really promotes you to your next season. And so for me, like, when I was with Wells Fargo, I was really murmuring, complaining all the time. Then I had a moment in like my third year there that I had to change like my perspective on anything, on what I was doing. And then I got promoted to like the level 2 banker. And then I continued to be thankful and just grateful for where I was at. I wasn't where I wanted to be, but I was thankful. Like, there's people that don't have jobs. There's people that, that are struggling. And then I got promoted to licensed banker. Then this opportunity came up, and then, things didn't work out, but I was still thankful. I was still like, just, I'm going to push through. I'm going to do the best I can, even in the time and in the moment that it sucks. I'm still going to give it my best. And that's what I believe got me here, man. And, I'm just thankful.
Yo, dude, I got so much to unpack right now. I got a bunch of notes right here. So if it's okay with you, Will, I just want to highlight again the lessons that he just covered there, because I mean, we're gonna
killer story, right?
We're just gonna go, like, I don't want it to be overlooked. Number one is like, he was at the bank, right? And he was getting like, just seeing people, being observant is part of like this business, because you have to see what's happening, who's doing what, because someone with the flashy car, with the flashy watch, I mean, I was in banking, so I got those same seeds where I was like, I could see somebody hit the flashy suit, but he was broke. I could see his bank account. And the other guy that was walking in that looked like a bum, I mean, not literally, but, you know, didn't have all the flashy stuff, had hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's just like, you know, Hector was observing and seeing, hey, dude, like, there's something about this real estate thing. I'm seeing these people. So you have to be observant. Then, you know, when he gets these mentors, he didn't go out there and search for the mentors, but, you know, it just happened because he was out there working and they recognized that and they gave him a shot. He was trying different things. I also can resonate with that. I mean, sometimes the first business doesn't hit. Many times the first business doesn't hit, right? Many times the first couple things don't hit, but he was still trying. He was still going after it and just, you know, hey, you know what? I know that I'm worth more, that I can accomplish more. And then even, I think he said something, Hector said something right now about like, hey, you know I wasn't where I wanted to be, but I know I was heading in the right direction. That's so key, you guys, because, you know, maybe to other people looking inside, you know, some of our lives as, you know, successful investors that you would say, oh, they already made it. Well, I don't feel like I made it. You know, I'm headed in the right direction, but, you know, you have to be able to be, like you said, grateful for where you're at and understand, hey, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I'm at least I'm headed in the right direction, right? And the last thing I want to say is that, you know, we're all here because somebody gave us a chance, but nobody just hands you a chance. You know, Hector worked for it. He was in a position for somebody, and he was adding enough value for someone to give him a shot. Same thing with me, where, you know, I was in a position where, you know, I was working very, very hard, but somebody gave me that shot. And then I proved to them that it was not a wrong decision for them to give me that shot. Over and over, I proved to them by my work ethic. And same thing with Will. Will proved to me over time that this guy deserves to be at the very top with me because of how much work he's willing to put in and all the value that he's adding. So, but I gave him a shot, but he's running with it. So remember, guys, if you're willing to put into work, somebody will give you a chance, but not without you just, you know, with you just sitting out there with your hand out. Like, it's not going to happen. So that's what I wanted to share, you guys, based on your story, bro. It was awesome. Will?
Yeah, man. Like Alex said, like, what a killer story, right? You know, it comes from you know, a banking background, which is very similar to Alex. But, you know, again, the main thing that I just wanted to point out there was the adding value, right? So, you know, Hector, kind of break that down for us. Like, what gave you that mindset that was like, all right, I need to, you know, again, add value to somebody before they take a chance on me? Because I agree with you, right, Alex? Like, you know, it's not like people are just walking around giving away $1 million opportunities left and right. You know, it's, you have to be in the position for it to present itself and then be in a position to take advantage of it when it does present itself. So kind of go into that a little bit, Hector, like, and especially like you mentioned, like, not in really the best position, but knowing that you're in the right direction, right? And I think those two, you know, kind of align, right? Like knowing that you're going the right way, and then when that opportunity presents itself, it's kind of like, boom, they both hit right there for you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, like if you were to ask those guys why they took a chance on me or why they give me an opportunity or why they lend me money, I think that and they've expressed this to me before, which is why I share it. But, you know, I think that the common denominator was just my attitude, man. Like, you know, people, you know, it's like, people know if you're going to put in the work or not. I mean, it's visible, right? Like, and so it's all, for me, it's all about attitude. Like, if you want to work for me or you want to add value to me, like, I'll give you a shot, but I'm not going to pay attention to you until I see that you're grinding and you're putting in the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many people that hit me up all the time. Oh man, I want to learn from you. I want to, you know, work for you, this and that. But, you know, sometimes I purposely ignore them because I want to see if there's like hunger there. And so, you know, if they turn around and text me again, then okay, there's a little bit of hunger. And then, you know, it's like, I mean, that may be rude, I don't know, but the reality is, it's like, you got to separate yourself from the rest of the bunch. In my opinion, the way that I believe I was able to do that, because there was guys like me in that construction company. There was hungry guys. There was more talented guys. There were smarter guys, people that had graduated college. I didn't graduate college. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was guys that had degrees, and I was able to stand out to the business owners, to the guys with the millions, because of my attitude. Like, if they told me to show up at 7 o'clock in the morning, I wasn't going to show up at 7:05. You know what I'm saying? Like, Regardless of what they say, you know, in this new culture, hard work is impossible to change, right? Hard work is impossible to beat out. Like there's nothing that can ever replace hard work and hunger and grind. And I think that's what I had. And those guys noticed that. And they were like, you know, this guy is showing up when he says he's going to show up. His attitude is always right when he's here. He's not constantly grumbling or gossiping about the boss or whatever. Like that stuff says a lot to guys like myself, to Alex. Like I'm sure Will had those qualities, Alex, and you were like, you know, this dude's hungry. Let's go. You know, I had this one guy, you know, hit me up from Orlando, old time friend of mine. He'd been hitting me up for a while, and eventually he was like, man, I'm ready. You know, let me come and just shadow you for a little bit. And I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't think he was gonna, you know, book a flight, and he ended up booking a flight the next day, quit his job on the airplane, and he was like, I'm going all in. You know what I'm saying? And the dude now is one of my acquisition managers. But because he had the drive, he was willing to, you know, put the you know, everything on the line. You know what I mean? So it's attitude, it's determination, it's hunger. You know, it's like we all can say that we're hungry, right? We have drive, we have grit, we have hustle. But you know, the proof is in the pudding, man. Show it to me, and then you'll get your chance. You know, I read this great book just recently. It's what's this book? Oh, there it is. It's The Richest Man in Babylon. And I don't know if y'all read that book, but he basically talks about that there's no such thing as luck. There's no such thing as favor, right? Luck comes by working hard. Like when people see you work hard, luck is around the corner. And that has been the case for me, bro, time and time again. Dude, I have an investor that just dropped $200,000 in my business with a promissory note, no lien, no nothing, 200K, bam. And he was like, the reason I'm doing this, I sat down with him in his office, is because I see your work ethic. And there's very few that have the work ethic like you do. And I'm like, dude, I appreciate that. But it's like that, you would have called it luck. I called it hard work, because I'm not cutting corners. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm out there, I'm hustling, I'm putting in the work. And now obviously I think, you know, Alex could say the same, but I'm in a position where I built a great team and I have more family life and more time to take off. But don't forget the, you know, 80 plus hours I put in when I started. Don't forget the sleepless nights when I started. You know what I'm saying? What's his name? Kong. He just recently posted something about when him and his wife started, you know, and he posted a TikTok video, and, you know, he's funny, man. He's hilarious. And he was like, you know, when I first started, you know, him and his wife, they were putting in time, bro. Now it's like, you know, everything comes with a price, so you can afford whatever price. You know what I'm saying? And he said something like that. I kind of messed it up, but it's like put in the work so that whatever price you need to pay later can be something that you can afford, basically, is what he said. So that's I don't know if that kind of answered your question well, but you know, that's what I've seen in my life, bro.
Awesome, dude. I love
And
it.
I think lucky would be if you were walking down the street and you saw a blank check with your name on it, right? That would be luck. But having somebody deposit, you know, a substantial amount of money into your business, like you said, that's not luck, right? That's hard work, that's dedication, that's the 80-hour weeks, you know, that lead to somebody being comfortable enough to say like, hey man, if I put this money in Hector's bank, I'm going to get that back and some, and in a timely manner. Right. And I'm going to be helping somebody else grow their business. And you know, again, there's a reason that happens. So I love that you were able to kind of point that out and highlight that. Again, I know a lot of people here on the call are kind of at that same point where it's like, you know, look, like you mentioned, you did all the YouTube, you did all the learning, and then it was just time to kind of take that leap. And, you know, some people need a mentor to take the leap with them. Some people need the financial partner to take that leap with them. And I think the easiest way to get there is hard work, right? Hard work and dedication.
Yeah. So I think I want to kind of really highlight a transition, because people reach out to me a lot too about all the team that I built. And I know you've done, same thing, if not better, Hector, of like scaling up pretty quickly from when you started, building out a team, and now that's enabled you to have a little bit more maybe work-life balance. But can you tell us kind of what your team looks like right now, and then kind of where it kind of started, and any way you could kind of share how you've been able to scale it so fast and how you have so many quality team members now?
Yeah. So, I started obviously by myself. I'd say my mother-in-law was just grafted into my team because she's my mother-in-law. And
Had the MLS access, right?
yeah, I had MLS access. So
Yeah.
I think in the first week that she got the her credentials, and I knew that I wanted to do it, I was like, let me have them, and she gave them to me. And so I've been using MLS forever now because she's been an agent over 5 years. But anyway, yeah, so it was her, me basically looking for properties. We were strictly doing it in MLS. I had no idea of wholesaling, no idea like these guys existed, like no idea there was such a huge community in the investor world until like just 2 years ago. I realized that it was such a big thing. But it was just me, her, and my money partners were obviously the old business owners of the construction company that obviously had no clue that this was even a thing, right? Wholesaling, nothing like that. So then, I think it took, I started seeing a buddy of mine from church that was wholesaling, and he was posting on his personal Facebook page, which was Vince, by the way. He was posting like deals. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? And so he was like, oh, I'm wholesaling. I was like, what is that? And so he kind of started talking, and we talked for a good 3-4 months before we ever sat down and had a conversation. But he ended up selling selling me one of the houses that he had basically put on a contract, and I think I made $50,000 on that deal. And he was pissed. He was like, how'd you do that? You know what I mean? Like,
He made a 10K wholesaler fee, and Hector's over
yeah,
here counting the Benjamins, right?
dude, I think I paid him $9,000 for that deal.
Woo!
And he was like, I gotta like network with you. I gotta sit down with you. Like, let's meet up. That put a fire in him because he was a friend at church. And so I was like, dude, that house was like the best. Send me some more. And I made like 50 G's. And he was like, what? And so, we ended up like just having lunch. And I remember that conversation vividly. We were at a taco spot here in Atlanta. And Vince just like, man, like, what are you doing? Like, I tried flipping in Decatur, Georgia, and I lost a lot of money in that flip because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know the contractor side. I didn't know, what to look for. And he wasn't aware of any masterminds either. Like, it was just him grinding it out through YouTube and watching Kong and all these people, right? And so then we sat down. He told me what wholesaling was, and I told him how I was just flipping naturally because construction was kind of in the back of my mind. My dad also owned a painting business before he passed away. And so I would work with him like when I was 13, 14 years old, painting houses. And so I kind of learned like, what it takes, how much paint, So it's always been in the back of my mind, right? Construction. But anyway, so it came naturally to me. And then I was sharing with him, and he was like, we should just join forces. It seems like I can find distressed properties, you can flip them, and we can, make bank. And that's exactly what happened, bro. Like we had a talk. He had another company. We ended up just merging into my company, which is UJAM Group. And little by little, he had a partner that we brought in. Basically, he's changed so many roles. That guy, his name's David, but he was a cold caller. He was a project manager. He's been lead manager. He's been admin. He's been like everything you can think of. And so it was me and Vince starting out, and then David, and then we started scaling just super fast, and started finding a lot of wholesaling opportunities. And a lot of them we would just flip because I had crews for days. You know what I mean? So it's like it didn't make sense to wholesale them because we could make more flipping them. And so I would say 90% of our business right now is flipping and 10% is wholesaling. And yeah, so I added Vince, then David, and then we added Hector, the guy from Orlando that flew out here and came to be our acquisitions guy, like our first sales guy. Then after that, we hired Nathan, who is our another sales guy. He was a former car salesman, top car salesman in Carl Black in Hiram, Georgia, and hired him. Then I hired an admin that is in Canada, and then I hired a transaction coordinator that's here. So it's about 10 of us, and then I have two VAs. One of them is in El Salvador, the other one's in Colombia, and very much like you, Alex. Like just we meet like every Monday. We call it Made for Mondays, and then we huddle on Fridays as well. And just we have just a great team.
Awesome, dude. That's freaking awesome. I'm just writing. You huddle on Fridays then, huh? Is that what time is that?
Yeah, so we usually meet like at 10 o'clock, and we just have like a powwow basically of like how the week went and everything. And then Mondays it's like we break down our KPIs, very similar structure to what you have, and just talking to the VAs, getting more information, getting better, all that good stuff. So we just bought an office building, and so now we are actually able to meet in person. A lot of it before was like virtually, and it works either way. It works. I just find it that everybody was local, so might as well get an office and share the space. But yeah, it's when you're looking for team members to add or to hire, you don't really have to go too far. I don't know what your experience has been, Alex, but for me, like a lot of like my friends and people that I've known for a long time, I actually work with them, and people maybe say, speak against that. But for me, it's like, I want to work with people that I like. I want to work with people that I can chill with, that I can hang out with, that we can go out with, you know what I'm saying? Not with just like a cookie cutter 9 to 5, but our culture is super different, bro. Like we're come as you go, get your work done and leave. Like if you need to go to a doctor's appointment or whatever, like that's the kind of culture that I'm building here. And because I feel like people are more productive that way. So if you're looking to hire your first person, I don't think you have to look very far. Just look at who's around you, who's interested in doing what you do, and maybe join forces. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, and I think our mentor is a big proponent of that too, right? Like Ryan goes out with Sean Bob. Ryan goes out with his whole team. He hangs out with these guys. He does, church groups with these guys. He does Bible studies with these guys. Like, when you all kind of have those same core values and same core beliefs, I think it's easier to grow a culture like that, right? I mean, like Alex and I, like when we hang out, we hang out and we shoot the shit, and then we hang out and we do our work. But it's we're comfortable doing both of them, and we're comfortable wearing both hats while we do it. So I think that is a very important part of building a team, right? Is you want to be around people. You don't just want to cut somebody $1 million check and have that guy be an asshole about it, right? You want to cut that guy a check and be like, hey, that guy worked his ass off. We worked our ass off. We both built something here, and I'm happy that guy's taking home the check.
Yeah, I heard it once put by, I think it's Warren Buffett, that says like you have to like, trust, and respect them. And if any of those are missing, it's probably not going to work. That's good. I like, trust, and respect Will. So people like you could like and respect someone, but maybe you don't trust them that much, And so if any of those are missing, just kind of watch out. But yeah, I learned that also from Brandon Turner, being around him and seeing how he interacts with his team and whatnot. And really, you're doing life with people. And I remember when he actually stopped working with somebody. I won't name names, but he stopped working with somebody because of that. He's like, yeah, man, that person was too distant. It just didn't feel like really there was a lot of synergy there. I mean, it's not that you have to be best friends, but gone are the days where you're just gonna be like 9 to 5, or I'm checking out 4:55, and then I'll see you tomorrow at 8:55. Those are kind of gone now with all the connections with social media and all the other stuff kind of happening now. Like the world is evolving where kind of work and life is kind of mixed in a little bit together, right? It's like, especially when you're an entrepreneur. Now, if you got like a corporate job, that's different. But when you're starting, especially a small group, 10, 15, 20 people, the majority of you do really gotta, have everything aligned. Will likes to travel. He's not doing as much travel as I am, but that's gonna probably change down the road. He's starting to do more. But we all, our main virtual assistant, she is like a virtual nomad. I mean, she pretty much is in a different state of Mexico all the time. And I don't care, like you said, as long as we're getting the results as a business, I don't care that Will's gone for a week, or going to Guatemala. I'm happy for him. I don't care that my assistant is going somewhere to another state and she's checking in. As long as the work is getting done and our goals are aligned and we all like to work with each other, and that's enough. you'll see the synergy. The results happen based off of that, of that synergy working with people. But I totally resonate with your culture, my man. That's great. Yeah.
So Hector, I know, you kind of touched on, your personal growth and, kind of putting the team together, right? Like, your core team. Let's talk a little bit more about like how you've been able to scale and pivot, right? I know, for us, we talk about, the different acquisitions methods, right? And you went a whole like couple of freaking years without even knowing that there were wholesalers, that there were other opportunities to go out and purchase properties, right? You were strictly MLS.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about your, marketing channels, right? Like I know you work heavily with Deal Machine. I know you guys work with, texting. Like, tell us a little bit about how you've been able to kind of scale and grow those sides of the business.
Yeah, so it's funny because when Vince came in, like my eyes were open to this whole new world, right? And I was like, I just went all in, bro. So, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you know who Ken Corsi is. He's big time here in Atlanta, works with Red Barn, and he's local. But the dude has a training that basically I watched in the very beginning of this whole journey. And he says to pick, right? To pick 2 or 3 channels that you want to really go after, because if you do all channels, you may not be ready for all the channels of marketing. So my suggestion, my advice to guys starting out is like, don't overthink it. You know what I'm saying? Just put your efforts into 1 or 2, maybe 3, different categories of marketing, and do them well. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I did, Alex. Like I figured out MLS like to a T. I could be a realtor if I really wanted to, and I'd kill it. You know what I'm saying? And so I figured out MLS. Then the second, when Vince came in, he did a lot of mailers. And so mailers really worked well for him. So we just put our attention in mailers, and we still get deals on mailers to this day. And so, there's a bunch of ways to do them, right? There's yellow letters. There's a bunch of different companies that I can't remember all of them right now, but yellow letters HQ. There's another one.
Open Door Marketing, a couple of different ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of different ones. A couple of different brands.
Yeah. And so really they're all the same. They're, it's just, I would say that all of them have the same ability to land a deal, but you just want to do them in a mass volume level. And so for us, we were just like, let's go after it. Let's put a ton of money in mailers. And so that would be the second channel that we really focus on. And then we were doing texting. So we were using batch leads and, the regular stuff most people do. But when everything started changing with the regulations, we kind of pivoted to cold calling. And so we hired a bunch of VAs to cold call, and then really figured out our structure with lead managers to handle the warm leads and then transfer them to our sales guys. And really that's what we focus on. We'll do a little bit of SEO, like on online website marketing, Facebook marketing. But really we've seen that those 3 have been the best, but we've tried it all. We've done television. So we've been on Univision and Telemundo, as I told you guys before. We did get some good results on there. I got a lot of feedback, a lot of people. But what we noticed in the Hispanic market in Atlanta, I don't know if this would be the same for somewhere else, but what we noticed is that people were calling us because they were interested in buying a house. So if there's a realtor that's out there in Georgia right now, would put a TV commercial out, I'm a realtor, I'll help you buy a house, like that dude would crush it, because
you'd be making some money. You'd get all those leads.
Yeah,
right?
bro, because it's on tap. Like we would be getting mad calls every single day about helping the Spanish community buying a house, right? So there's a niche there, but that was not our thing. We were buying our houses. So we tried it. We had some good leads, did a couple of deals, but nothing major. Then right now we're looking at doing radio ads. Like one of our guys that we know from Mastermind, Gus, he's a guru with those radio ads. So we're going to try that. I'm actually have a meeting tomorrow with a guy from the radio stations here, see how we can manage that, but it's expensive, man. So we we'll see. But yeah, those are my marketing channels, and that's kind of how we land leads. Right now, though, most of our leads, I'd say 80% to 90% of our leads come from referrals. And they're realtor referrals. And so my mother-in-law sends us a bunch of deals. I have a couple other people that have reached out to us from different brokerages and just send us deals. And then social media, man, like social media is powerful, bro. I've gotten a bunch of deals from there, just being active on social media, and people just send us their deals. So that's our channels right now.
Awesome.
And I love how you pointed that out, right? It's one or two channels. I hear from people all the time. I even made a post about it a couple of days ago about the 5 different ways that I've been able to secure deals, over the course of the year. And it really is one by one. It's not like I just threw all 5 of those out there at once. It was like, hey man, I really dove into MLS for 3 months before I got my first deal. And then once you get that proof of concept, it's so much easier to replicate it over and over again. Like you said, Hector, like you have the MLS down to a T now, because it's, hey, I know exactly what my criteria is. I know exactly what my buy box is. I know where I'm looking. So if something pops up in those areas, because you've already analyzed so many deals, you just know that it's a hit, right?
Yeah. And I have a guy now that does strictly MLS deals. Yeah. Yeah. And I just hired the guy that's the dealership guy. He's doing strictly MLS deals now. So, it's like, that's what he focuses on. So
that's his lane.
Yeah, he stays in his lane. And, we have Hector who does all the off-market stuff. And, it just keeps it simple, keeps it targeted, keeps it, where you're not getting overwhelmed with different avenues. You know what I mean? If it's a subject to conversation, Vince handles that. You know what I mean? So.
Awesome. Well, I know there's a couple things we want to talk about. I know that at the beginning you were basically a one-man show with your mother-in-law, and then now you scaled it to like having having people in different roles. Now, but also I think it's kind of I think a fantasy of sort, or it's kind of a myth in my opinion, because I always felt, and I don't know what you think about this, Hector, I'm curious to hear your input on this, is that I dreamed of, I'm gonna have this like great team, and they're gonna do a lot of stuff, and then I'm gonna have a lot more time for myself. But what I have found is that's not the case, because I train these killers and they're out there just like putting in the work, and now I have even more work to do kind of in some ways. So I still got to juggle my life, because I have to like input the fun part of the things I want to do, the self-care that I was talking about earlier, because if I don't do that, then it's just gonna be dominated by like nothing but work. I could work 12 hours a day and it wouldn't be enough. Now, how are you seeing that, and what do you think about that thought? And can you give us some feedback on how you're juggling it all with the family and the kids, and the growing team and the big goals?
Yeah, no, man, I admire the guys that are able to juggle everything right off the get. I was definitely not one of those guys. I see Ryan Pineda, the dude's a monster, and I don't know how he is able to delegate every task and it be so efficient. Like, that's my goal. But man, it's impressive, bro. Like, to literally delegate every single thing where I'd love to know what he does, like day to day and on the flipping business. I know that he's concentrated on his like social media business right now and everything else he's doing. But, when I look at that, I'm like, how it's must have taken a lot of work, you know what I mean, to get there. But I think one thing that I've learned from him is like, you got to take care of your mind. You got to take care of you first so that you can be efficient, so that you can be productive. And I was having this conversation with somebody recently, and I look up to you about that stuff too. Like, going up to take care of yourself and traveling, like all that stuff's relaxing. It helps you be able to be clear to then be operating at a high level. And that definitely wasn't the case for me. I think I've learned that the hard way, man. And so, I think now recently it's been better. But man, let me tell you, like the first year, dude, I ended up in the hospital, bro, like with an anxiety attack. I thought I was having a heart attack. And I don't know if you've ever dealt with anxiety, but anxiety is a real deal thing. Like, you start feeling your chest gets tight, your hands go numb. Like I'm talking about that level of anxiety, because at that point, it was like I was doing everything. I was answering calls from contractors. I was paying every contractor. I was paying everybody. I was doing everything by myself. Vince, yes, he helped, but he was focused on finding deals for us. So he was able to and he's more chill. Like if you ever meet him, like he's more chill. He doesn't take things too strong. I'm high level in the sense of like, let's go on, I'm intense, my personality is like that. And so yeah, man, I was going on a family trip to Orlando, taking the kids out there, and I'm in the car, and all of a sudden I feel like I'm having a heart attack, bro. I had to pull over, call the 911. I ended up going to the ER, and they're like, nothing's wrong with you. Like you had a massive panic attack. I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like how? And then I just started analyzing my life, bro. I was drinking coffee like a crazy person. I was drinking at least 6 cups of coffee a day. I was freaking taking energy drinks like crazy because I just wanted to like hustle, hustle, hustle. All that stuff comes at a price, bro. So, I learned that this is, as of lately, everything, bro, is like you're not gonna take money to heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna take anything with you, and your family is the most important thing in this world. You know what I'm saying? And for me, like I had to wake up because I thought I was doing my family a good thing, right? Providing, bringing money, and as a Hispanic, like all I ever saw was my dad grind, bro. All I ever saw was my dad hustle, come like covered in paint. You know what I'm saying? And then would take a shower and be with us. And I never saw him have, complaints about mental health or anxiety. I don't know if he did or not. I wish I could ask him. But the reality is that, this the era, I would say, that we're in is different. Like you have to take care of yourself. And so I stopped, man. So now I don't come in on Wednesdays. Like today I did this because it was for Alex Camacho. I gotta show up, but I usually, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't work Wednesdays. I stay home with my boys, take care of them, just do family time. I leave at 4 o'clock. I try not to stay here past 4 o'clock. But before it was like 7 o'clock, and then I would get home, be with my boys for an hour, and go back to work, bro. And that's a season. Like, yeah, it's a season. You're gonna have to do that. Like I was saying in the beginning, but watch yourself. Like, don't do it in the weekends or take one day off. Like, you gotta watch that stuff. So, yeah, now I've learned that money isn't everything. Clint Eastwood just put out a movie on Netflix recently, and it's about him as a he's a mule for the narcos. I don't know if you've seen that movie, bro. It's a great movie.
Yeah, I have.
And bro, that movie, like it hits home, man, because the dude was never home. He lost a relationship with his daughter. He lost a relationship with his wife. He lost a relationship with people. All he cared about was work and money. And at 90 years old, he ends up figuring out that the biggest and most important thing in life wasn't the money, wasn't the fancy stuff, wasn't anything. It was the people around you, and making the world a better place. And dude, that's been like me for the last couple months. You know what I mean? Just understanding and realizing that, this is the last thing I say because I tend to overtalk, but realizing that you have to find what makes you happy. And if making you happy is making $200,000 a year, then do that, and do that well. There's another great book that I recommend for everybody. Your next 5 steps, or your next five moves. New book that just came out talks about the importance of knowing where you're heading, right? And he basically says this. He says, there's guys that are not happy unless they make $1 million, and then there's guys that can make 200,000, but that's their quality of life, and they're straight there. And I found out that I rather make less money and be happy with what I have, even if I make less money than all the other people that are around me in my network. But I know that that's good for me, like, and I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? So you got to find like what's your threshold and what's like your limit, and just go after it in a way that is gonna be good for your life. And that's it, man. That's
awesome.
where I'm at, and
Yeah,
I say all that to say, we're gonna cross 7 figures this year. We'll make $1 million net profit. It's gonna be amazing. But it came at a price, right? And now I'm learning, okay, like, could I have made 800,000 and still been happy? Probably. You know what I mean? Like, my life didn't change that much. You know what I mean? So anyway, just take that for what it is.
Dude, I think that's super important to highlight. I'm sure Will can, talk about that
Super
a
humble,
little
yeah.
bit, because sometimes I wonder, like, if he's kind of, doing the real work-life balance, but he's at that different stage. He's at where I was at a couple years ago, where you got to put in that work. And I think that's super important that you highlighted that, like, there's different seasons in this journey. And at the beginning, you can't be taking like fancy vacations and doing all the stuff and taking a bunch of time off. It just doesn't work, because you need to learn, you need to, to go ahead and take these actions and get the results, and then, and all that. And you got to put in those hours. But fortunately, like I said, like you said, is one of the biggest things that I learned during the pandemic. I was like, man, I need to work on my routines. I need to work on my self-care. I need to, I cannot grow this company. I cannot grow myself if I am, just in shambles, if I'm a wreck. And so,
Right.
like, routines have been so important to me for that reason, because it's like, I have to fill myself up, with as much as I can, with the meditation, with the journaling, with the affirmations, with the exercise, because when I don't do that, I don't feel my best. And if I don't feel my best, I can't give my best to my team. And so, like, it's so important that you take care of yourself first. It's like, take care of you for the main purpose of being able to give more. And when I have more energy, I can give more to my team, and I can work the later hours if I need to. But I think that's super important that you highlighted that. And I think that's different for everybody. For me, it was a lot of it was like, when I was in LA, I would go hiking a lot, because getting away from the city and getting up in the mountains has been very special to me. When I was in Hawaii, it was going out there and swimming, or when I'm in Hawaii, it's going out there swimming, surfing, and getting out there in nature. When I'm in Guadalajara, it's just enjoying the great food and my family. So it's just like, I have to go ahead and input the fun things, the things that fill me up, so that way I don't get depressed, that way I don't get the anxiety, that way I have a lot more energy to give out. And I mean, like I said, Will's a machine. I mean, this guy works nonstop, but he took a recent vacation, which I'm really proud of him. And then I know that he's going to be in a season down the road where he will be able to take more time off, because he's going to deserve it and earn it. But right now, it's a different season for him as it is for me. But I mean, thank you so much, Hector. This has been amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
no,
I put
man.
out a poll just real quick, guys. I know Hector, was pretty vulnerable and humble, and shared, some of his self-doubt as one of his struggles that kind of caused him to have a panic attack. But if you guys don't mind, just fill out that poll question and kind of let us know. And, more than anything, let yourself know, right? Like Hector was talking about, like, what is it that's causing you that biggest roadblock? And then, what you really need to focus on is finding out what that why is, whether it's, special time with your family, getting out on Wednesdays, what it is that's most important, and spending that time kind of making sure that happens. So again, I appreciate you being so humble and sharing a story like that, and all the stories that you shared today, Hector. This was some incredible stuff, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I believe you got to put on the masks first. That's what they tell all the passengers in an airplane, right? If something goes down, put the mask on before you put it on anybody else. And I think if you take care of you, you're gonna be more efficient, more effective. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, great topic, man. Great, awesome combo.
Awesome. Well, right now, guys, we're gonna get everybody into. I think Will's gonna promote everybody from, from an attendee to a panelist. So, this is our tradition to have everybody kind of just finish off and get some social media posts. So once we get up, definitely share, tag Hector. Hector, go ahead and put your Instagram into the chat. In case anybody wants to reach out. I mean, this guy's, rock solid. He just gave so much value. So we appreciate your time, especially because this is your day off. I didn't know that. So thanks again for doing that, Hector. But Will as well, great to have you back. I see a lot of familiar faces. I want to give a shout out there for Kevin Crossing. He's definitely, one of the tribe members here. Ali, Ulysses, just a bunch of great people here. Was this a fire, webinar or what, guys? I mean, we didn't even get a chance to cover a couple of things, but it is what it is, guys. I think we covered enough to really drop some gems for you guys.
Yeah, man, I'll stick around. If you guys have any questions, anything I can help you in your development, connect with me on Instagram or ask it here. I mean, I got time, but I don't know what you guys do, if you answer questions or not, but, reach out to me or post it here. I'd love to answer any questions on, I don't know what you
Oh,
guys.
this is that time, guys. You know, again, like Hector's here on his day off. So I mean, if anybody has like that one question, you know, this guy is a Latino, came from a hardworking family, came from a working background, has a current family, growing a current team. Like this guy is relatable to a lot of the people in this room right now. So, you know, if you have that one question that's kind of, you know, been, you know, eating on your mind, like I think Hector would be the guy that would be open to answer it to you. And, you know, he's been pretty humble and open in his responses so far. So if anybody has one, you know, now's the chance. And if not, you can always, you know, like we said, kind of connect with Hector one-on-one. He went ahead and put his Instagram account there in the chat, and you guys are more than welcome to connect with him there as well.
I got a hard stop coming up. I'm going to have some dinner with my godfather here in Guadalajara. But if you guys have any questions, ask Hector. If not, reach out to him. I think it's been a fantastic webinar. I mean,
If you have something coming up, I know you're driving, but if you want, fire away, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Hector, that was I like your story and very inspirational, man. Thanks for your time and just sharing with us.
Absolutely, man. My pleasure, guys. Like I said, reach out to me, DM me. I'm always responding on my messages, and you know, I'm here to help, man. The biggest thing I can share with you guys, I know Alex has to go, but man, if you're stuck and you are trying to figure out how to make that first, you know, decision in real estate investing, or you feel like you have analysis paralysis, the way that it was for me, it's just, you just got to go out and do it, right? We hear that all the time, like just jump, just do it. But a lot of us have families, man. A lot of us have people that depend on us. And for me, the way I did it is like I took time, right? I took my corporate job and I waited until I felt peace, you know, to make that decision. So if you guys, you know, are trying to make that jump, you know, just make sure your ducks are in a row and you have enough safe to cover you maybe a month, 2 months, so that you can explore, you know, after you take that leap of faith. But don't let all those excuses prevent you from taking that step. It's a risk at the end of the day. But the way, and I'm a really like spiritual guy, so that's why I talk like this. But for me, the way you spell faith is R-I-S-K. The way you spell faith is R-I-S-K. When you have risk,
that's huge.
You know what I mean? Like you have faith, and that's, you know, you're putting the money on you at the end of the day. And what God has deposited in you. And I mean, I'm not supposed to talk about like God and stuff like that, but that's just my journey. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not God for you, maybe it's the talents for you, you know, whatever you believe in yourself, whatever has been.
I was going to say faith in yourself, right? Like if you've done the analysis paralysis, if you sat there and read like 15 books, like
exactly,
bro, have faith in yourself. Be like, bro, I read all 15 of these books. Like I should know from cover to cover exactly. Okay, a hard money lender, cool, I can get that. A realtor, cool, I can get that. Like, you know, make it happen, right? Like that's it. You got to kind of have that faith in yourself. And I love that phrase you used, right? You can't spell faith without risk. Yeah. That was legendary. What a mic drop, bro. Man. Well, guys, you know, like Hector said, you know, he put his Instagram in there. I know we get to connect with Hector on the mastermind, so we can't wait to see you out there again, brother. Always excited to see you and the team and see where your guys' growth's at. And we'll catch up with you soon. And you know, everybody else, please connect with Hector outside of this. Connect in the Facebook group if you guys have any questions that you need help on. And we'll look forward to connecting with you guys next week on the flip side. All right.
All right, guys. See ya.
Appreciate it, fellas. Take care.
Let's get it.
Alex.
All right, Alex. Hey, thanks.
Thanks a lot, Hector. Appreciate your story, man.
Absolutely, man. Connect with me. If you guys have anything, let's connect. Let's talk. Love to help.
Well, I'll connect with you on Instagram. Thank you.
What was that?
I'll connect with you on Instagram. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Where are you guys from?
I'm in California, San Diego. LA.
Anybody? LA? Okay, cool. That's what's up.
LA.
Will, where are you at right now, bro?
I'm at my place in LA.
LA? Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
Out here by the beach. So we'll catch you guys soon. All right. Hector, man, I appreciate you.
All right. See you guys. Take care.